Hello and welcome to another edition of Great British Churches. Today we're at the Church of St Mary and St Martin in Kirton, which is near Felixstowe in Suffolk. Just sort of having a look around. This church dates from the 13th century. Just have a look at the tower there. Got a 15th century tower on the outside there, but absolutely charming. We have the War Memorial. And I suspect we'll find those names inside as well later on, because very often that is the case. And have a look, it's a lovely little village this. It's sort of spread out a bit, but mulberry tree in the corner, how gorgeous, absolutely full of butterflies. That's what we found all day today. Let's have a look at the church and have a walk around the outside. I'm going to get a bit further away so we can get a good view. Mindful as always of very modern graves, because it's I don't think we should be filming those. And somebody's been tending to the churchyard further down. Oh, look at the tower. If you have a look at the stone in that, it's called wow. If you have a look, another thing, just to our left here we have a yew tree. Every churchyard in the country that's old seems to have yew trees in it, but if we can have a look what that's made out of, it's rubble stone and a stone called septaria and flint. Septaria is red. If it gets the rain on it, sometimes it looks really, they call it dragon's blood, and it does look that way. Have a look, very ordinary, plain and simple little parish church in an English village. Windows got some boarding on it, and the door there, because this might have had some vandalism. I'm sort of walking as carefully as I can around this little church, because it's unbelievable. I just can't believe the amount of butterflies and things that are flying around in here. Let's have a look. Let's go around the other side. If we can look there, there's the nave. And there's a lot of brick, a lot of repair going on there. And the chancel, if we have a look at that, that's clearly a much older building. In fact, the church history says, if we can have a look up there, at the tower was built in the 15th century, 250, 300 years from when after the church was first built. But let's go around and have a look. It's absolutely glorious today. And we've got it's amazing, and you can see the village hall in the background there. Let's have a look at that end. Isn't that gorgeous? Little aeroplane buzzing above our heads. There we go. I'm mindful as well, just mindful of any graves that are more recent, because I try not to film those. If it's a bit windy today, I do apologise. It is gorgeous. This is the day you want your washing out. This is absolutely, it's about 30 degrees, which is, I would imagine, somewhere in the 80s in Fahrenheit. It is gorgeous. It's a lovely, lovely day. We look at the vestry. Beautiful. Little bits have been built on. What I love about this church is, you'll see when we go inside, it's very, very much alive. It's used. Even the little bits like probably 1960s that have been tagged on to make because these are buildings, you know, we look at these as historical buildings, but reality is they're still used. This still is used for the same purpose it was built for. How many years ago? Let's try and work it out in my head. It's about 800 years old, this church. Let's have a swing around the churchyard. See the village? Lovely little houses and the village hall. And I hope the camera can pick up just how many butterflies there are in here. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, let's go through that new porch and have a look, see what it's like inside.
Right, we've just entered into the church, and I'm just going to pass it over to Paul.
Oh,
you can see that this north aisle is here. It's 19th century, and it underwent a restoration by Frederick Barnes. And then there was a 20th century modernisation of the west end of the north aisle. including the entrance hall that we've just come through. I would show it to you, but that door is very heavy when you're doing everything with one hand. And that was undertaken by architect by Derek Woodley. The modern porch and adjacent community hall, well, a recent innovation. It does really fit neatly into the angle of the church in the aisle, and I don't know why he's filming that bit when I'm talking about this bit.
Sorry, I was having a look around. There we go.
So
it's a gorgeous porch, actually, isn't it? That's what's open the door.
It's a lovely little area.
It's great, you know. It's very modern, but
yeah,
it's nice because a lot of churches you come into, especially old churches, you're blown away, aren't you?
I do like how some people can marry old and new together so very, very well.
That's done well here.
You know, we've got a pub down on the docks in Ipswich, and I just love it because it's got that old and new together.
I like how the pews rise up at the back there towards the organ.
Yeah.
So we're on a bit of a slope here. It's a bit like a theatre.
Yeah, but the organ's been moved up there, so, and I think that makes a better use of the space in the church to put the organ in the tower.
It is. It's out of the way there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unusual. Got concrete floor in here.
Yeah, it's just like paving slabs you find in the high street, aren't
It is, but it's done the job and it looks all right.
Yeah. It's a very simple, honest little church.
It is.
You know, it's been here for a long while. It's been restored.
Let's have a look at this roof. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
The chancellor's very old. You can look at it. Look how the walls pull away from each other.
Yeah. Well, the tower is probably the last thing that was built on this church. And apparently there are no fewer than 6 bequests for it from 1504 onwards. William Bennes left 4 marks for the church to buy a bell within 8 years of his death. As there were several more bequests for a bell after this, then it would suggest that the tower was complete. So we're looking sort of 1504, something like that. You know, so early 1500s, that tower's been built.
Just have a look at some of the pews here, because there's a story with these.
There is. They're just...
If we can have a look there, we've got C.K. Warner, G.C. Ward, J.C. Nixon, with the coat of arms of the RAF, S.T. Modland, A.F. Jaggers, A.T.H. Hayward, D.M. Bozier, and L.M. Bowen. And these were the crew, the names of a crew.
Some behind.
Oh, is there more, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah.
This is the villagers' war memorial.
Davis. Yes, I didn't see those.
Yeah.
They go right the way to the back.
And there might be on the other side of these as well.
We'll have a look when we get round.
I think there are. If you look
I love
at
that.
those ones there, they're on the other side as well.
But the RAF ones are the crew of a Whitley bomber which crashed next to the church in 1941.
How do you know that?
Because it says so over there on a bit of paper.
Okay.
We do our research.
To the glory of God and in Geoffrey Hamilton Hall.
Yeah.
In loving, oh, hang on, I'm reading that wrong. To the glory of God and in loving memory of Geoffrey Hamilton. 1st of September 1917, Paul. I don't know why he's, what would be surname? 13th of June 1985.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
That is beautiful because we see, like, we've got this window here to the left.
Lovely little Lancet window.
You know, and I expect that's got a dedication in that as well. But to have something that plain and simple. It's just as beautiful as having a stained glass.
Henry Laws died 9th of January 1871. And another nice, what you'd say, Victorian pew, probably?
Probably, yeah, it's not.
Looking at that.
It's
always on one little stick. You wouldn't get too worked up on that, would you? That's on that one leg.
That astounds me. You have some of these priests and vicars in these places, and I've been to them where they can get a bit hellfire and damnation, a bit carried away, and they're standing on a small plinth.
Yes. Yeah. Now we're in the chancel here, which is clearly the oldest
You got
part
it
of the church.
right.
I'm getting good at this. I'm knowing my churches now. I'm finding my way through. It's a lot more basic. Things aren't quite so square. The walls. Look at that old doorway there. Look, it's been blocked up.
That's been blocked
That's
up,
the modern
isn't it?
vestry.
Yeah.
But have a look. We've got, you know, probably those alcoves would have had, because this is dedicated to St Mary and St Martin.
Now, there's a theory behind this. The reason it's St Mary and St Martin, which is quite unique, especially in this is the only one that we know of in this area. So the dedication is quite unique. And it seems to have been because of a geographical mistake, that the actual original dedication was to St Martin, but over the other side of the river is the village of Shotley, and a part of that, where the parish church was an area known as Kirton. And that parish church that was there was dedicated to St Mary. In the 18th century, the antiquarians who researched church dedications, which were later used as they were gradually restored back into use again, had confused Kirton with Kirton, and therefore joined the two dedications together.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why they think this is called St Mary and St Martin. I don't know. You know, we'll leave that to you. Paul, if you want to come back this way.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
Because I don't know if you saw the sedilla and the
Yeah,
piscina.
lovely seat there. Look.
Yeah. Now, the sedilla is a place where the clergy can rest, and the piscina is where they can wash their hands, wash the communion stuff.
You can see, I'm not going to go into the sanctuary, but if you can have a look in there.
No, I never go in if it's shut.
If it's shut. So if you look at there, there's like a little bowl where that hand gel is.
Yeah.
And that's where you'd have washed your hands, tipped away holy water, wine, and you'd run out into the cemetery.
And I suspect that little bit there is an aumbrey.
Yeah.
And that's where they would put the oil, the salt, and the communion set away for safekeeping.
That's it. Let's turn around and go back.
So we've got a couple of memorials on the wall there for the reverends that were here.
Mm-hmm.
To the memory of John Edgar, Reverend, 22 years rector of this parish, who departed this life 3rd of August 1842, aged 80 years.
42, yeah.
And then sacred to the memory of Anne, wife of the Reverend John Edgar, rector of this parish, who departed this life June the 5th, 1831. Whose remains are deposited in a vault near this tablet, erected by her husband as a mark of sincere regard for her amiable qualities, and as a tribute to those domestic virtues which so eminently endeared her to her relatives and friends. That is a very weird thing. He's saying that what a wonderful wife she was, but he didn't love her. Is it?
Yeah, there's actually this floor. Well, I know it's concrete paved, which it is, but there's a plan on the wall of the vaults. Yeah. The floor is the underside of this church, because as we say, it's 13th century.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely filled with tombs under our feet.
You've got To the Glory of God, 1939, 1945. In
Thankful remembrance.
And to me, that's more touchy-feely than he's putting that up there for his wife.
Yes, I'm just having a look at there isn't really a chancel arch, is there? But you can see the two buildings, how it's been knitted together.
Yeah. They call this a weeping chancel because it's at an angle to the nave. And it's not much of an example of it, but it is a weeping chancel. Right,
I mean, let's have a look down here in the north aisle, and there's a font.
Now, this font is in a very, very strange place for me because
it's been moved.
Find them by the door, at the back of the church, in the middle.
It's very plain. How old is it?
Well, if you it's basically 13th century.
Wow, so that's been here since 1200 and something.
Yeah.
Doesn't look it, does it?
No. It has been restored, so you can see some of the shafts that it stands on. I should imagine most of them actually.
They've been replaced,
They've
haven't
been
they?
replaced. The font itself is probably 13th century, and the cover.
You can see there's been writing here,
Yeah.
and it's been cleaned off.
Yeah.
So, in fact, actually, if you look at it, look at how these decorations are.
Yeah.
You can see that's been faced. So a proper stonemason's gone down and cut that level. Look.
Yeah.
So there must have been some design on here.
Yeah.
What does our iconoclast friend say about this one?
I believe he had been here. I'm just having a look. Had he been here? Nope, he hadn't.
Really?
No, I've got nothing about Dowsing being here. You always throw me a question like that, though, and I'm not really going to know the
No,
answer.
I'm just having a turn round.
It does, just because I haven't got it doesn't mean to say he hasn't
He has.
been it.
He just didn't diarise it.
Yeah, you know, and I've got the book, and there's nothing in it.
The iconoclast was the man sent out by Parliament to make sure.
Dowsing,
William Dowson, and he was
1643.
1640. You tell him.
No, you're doing
Okay.
very well.
But he came and he was to check on churches to make sure there was no stained glass windows or anything that had pictures like crosses, saints, and things like that.
Oh, do you want to come back up here?
Oh, I'm coming back. Yep.
Because we've got a memorial on this bench end here, look.
Oh, yes.
Ian R. Walton.
Yeah.
There you go, you do it.
Okay, Ian R. Walton, in memory of Eric D. Walton, 1896 to 1986. His wife Rachel, 1897-1982. And their eldest son, Peter Eric, 1925 to 1942. Yeah. If we can have a look, there's names on the ends of all of these benches.
I don't know if they're part of the War Memorial.
Well, it says kindergarten, which means no. H. Burden Everett, Ford, Desborough. And I suspect if we look in the cemetery at the War Memorial, again these names.
I don't think these are War Memorial benches. I think these are probably parishioners who are
Working Party, yeah.
Who said, I want to be memorialised on these bench ends. Because the aisle there are the ones where the names of the military are.
Yeah, yeah.
These ones are sort of out of the way. I don't think they're part of it. If they were, they'd be on this side here.
Oh, we got I missed the Royal Coat of Arms.
Yeah, that's probably George VI or Elizabeth. I can't tell. I'm not a coat of arms specialist, heraldic specialist.
I'm going to just have another look at this image because there's a collage done here in 1991. I just think that's amazing because this is over 30 years old now, and it's just amazing. It's about the village life and what goes on here.
If I'm going to put a punt on this coat of arms, I would say it's for Elizabeth II.
Elizabeth II, yeah, more likely.
It looks like something she would have. It's very ornate, it's very decorative. I think it's Elizabeth II. I could be entirely wrong.
Oh, that's telling you who's done it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're done. Shall we round this one up?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us at St Mary's and St Martin's, Kirton, sort of near Felixstowe in Suffolk. And until next time, thanks very much for joining us on Great British Churches.